If you want to be a lifeguard, you want to do a job. I talk to people like pool lifeguards, and they sit there for 2 years at a pool, and the most they ever do is tell kids, don't run, don't splash, don't jump in the shallow end. Here, they're going to make rescues, and they're going to have an experience, and they're going to do things. And most people I know that want to be lifeguards, they want to actually do their skills. And you don't want to see people get in trouble, but people are going to get in trouble if you want to be the one that's there. So typical year, we make between 2,000 and 4,000 rescues a year. We see, about 100 neck back injuries, and we train people in all these skill sets that they need, and they're going to get to use them. So they get to go home basically a hero.
Beach Patrol to all handhelds on 2. Your weather for today looks to be sunny skies with a high near 82 degrees. Winds are going to be out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming southeast a little later on in the day break. Water temp is about 62 degrees. Area supervisors have listed rip currents as low for now. High tide is going to be happening at 10:56 this morning, and then the tide will be going out until 16:50 this afternoon. Surfing beaches are 133rd Street in the north, 53rd Street in the south, and inland surfing beaches open as well. Surfing is not modified for today. Break.
The history of the Ocean City Beach Patrol goes back about 100 years. I've been here for over half of it. This is my 54th year with the Beach Patrol. The Beach Patrol is just about 100 years old right now. The early Beach Patrol, the Ocean City was not very big. They didn't have a lot of tourists. There was no easy way to get here. So, just a few people came here, and they started with just one lifeguard. And the U.S. Coast Guard station in Ocean City had a lot to do with guarding the beach. But then as it got to be later, the 1940s, around the Second World War, they started having more people working here, more beach patrol. And it stayed pretty small till the 1960s. And at that point, Ocean City extended its property all the way to the Maryland-Delaware line, which made Ocean City 10 miles long. Once they had 10 miles of beach, they had to increase the number of lifeguards on the beach to cover it all. When I started in 1973, Ocean City had 18 and a half crews of guards, and each crew had 6 guards in it. We didn't have any of the high-rise condominiums in the 1970s. They didn't come around to the late 70s, early 80s. Then we started having things like lunch days, days off. So then it took more people to cover the stands we had. So the Beach Patrol's grown. The beach right now is wider than it used to be because we did a project called Beach Replenishment, where we built a man-made dune and extended the beach. So we're seeing more and more people come to Ocean City. Also in the 1950s, they built the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, which connected the western shore of Maryland to the eastern shore, and that made it easy for people to get to Ocean City, and immediately the number of tourists coming to Ocean City for vacation increased.
Being a rookie on Ocean City Beach Patrol is very challenging. millions of people come here every summer, and when you're on stand, they trust that you are capable of seeing them, capable of recognizing if they're distressed and anything like that. So they instill that in you in our academies and whatnot. And that's a lot to take on yourself. You have to know that you are ready on that stand, that you are confident enough that you can go out there and keep people safe. What's most challenging is your scan. A scan is the view you need to have of your patrons on the beach and everything that's going on. And that's something that's not just created in one night or in 5 days, in a week. That's something that you build over time, and you learn to look for the things that you find to be distressed and victims. And that's something that I feel like I have to work on, and that's hard. It's hard to work on that, but it just takes time. When you're working for Beach Patrol and you need the perception that we're always going to be doing our best, trying our hardest, and to show that we're walking instead of running shows that we're being lazy, or that shows that we're not prepared for the moment. You always have to keep your eyes on the ocean, always have to be prepared for somebody to save.
We tell the guards they have a job of significance. That's important because whatever they do here is significant. It's not like I sold 12 t-shirts on the boardwalk today. What they're gonna say is I saved 12 people out of the ocean. I returned a little 4-year-old that was lost to her mom. And that's significant. And you're not only significant in what you do, but for that family that you helped, they're significant. The other part is really about integrity, doing what's right when nobody's watching. Another value we want is that, we are uniform, we look alike. So we have rules about that. You can have as many holes in your body as you want, you just can't have anything in the holes, so you can't have your piercings, take them out. Shaving, it's not my rule. This was a rule when I got on the patrol. You can have a mustache, but you can't have a beard. Uniform must be clean. You have to be in a uniform. You can't wear anything that's not part of an issued piece of equipment. It's all about being that way. The values are really the professionalism of our patrol. The number of lifeguards we put on the beach is dependent on a couple things. One, early in the season, water's cold, crowds aren't here yet, local schools are still in session, so a lot of families don't vacation. And plus all our guards aren't here yet. So May through mid-June, we have less guards on the beach. Then once we get to the end part of June, then we're at full complement. Now during full complement, we put 91 stands on the beach. The 91 stands are spread along all 10 miles. That 91 stands are divided into 18 crews, and a crew is a functional unit, has a crew chief, an assistant crew chief, and usually 6 or 7 other people in the crew. And within that crew, they do the weekly schedule to make sure all stands are covered. One person a day is their lunch rover. That person comes at 10 o'clock, and starting at 12 o'clock, they work a different stand every half an hour to give the guards a break. That guard is off the rest of that day and the entire next day.
So my name's Jeremy Cope. I'm crew chief of Crew 2. I've been in Crew 2 every single year. Again, I've been here for 8 years now. And this is my home, this is my family. I love body surfing. Body surfing is so much fun. Get my fins, go out there, hit a couple no-nos, hit a little Crew 2 crossy. You might see that out there. I like to see tricks. I like seeing people charge that. I like to see some straight faces out there. It's a lot of fun. Get the brown your disc, have a good time. I'm from the area. I grew up in Ocean City, Maryland, and it actually kind of blows my mind on how people from different areas want to come here. I've asked this question. I've been on the patrol for 8 years now. I ask this question every single year to some people who come. They're from New Zealand, they're from Australia, they're from Costa Rica, and they want to come back to Ocean City, Maryland every summer. And the only thing that I get the real answer of is they just say there's no place like Ocean City, and this place is just so special. And I think it comes from the family community that we bring. We have lots of rips, we have lots of rescues, we get hurricane waves, and it's just a different beach when you come out every single day.
Rip currents are the second leading cause of weather-related death in the United States last year. We do between 2,000 and 4,000 rescues a year. 98% of those are out of rip currents. So if we get a lot of tropical storms, tropical depressions, hurricanes in the Atlantic, then we get big waves. As the waves come in, they have to make their way back out, and that increases rip currents. That increases the number of rescues. We could have a lot of people in Ocean City, but if it's we call Lake Ocean City, it's not a lot of wave action. I don't care how hot it is, it doesn't matter how crowded it is, we're not going to make a lot of rescues, but we could have a pretty low population with bad surf conditions and make a lot of rescues. So it more has to do with ocean conditions than the population. So on any given day, at minimum during prime time, we're going to have about 115 people on the beach, and we'll swell that up to maybe 135 if it's really a particular busy day. In addition to the 18 crews, we divide Ocean City into 4 functional areas, and each area has a set of sergeants that are on the beach supervisors. They ride the four-wheelers, the ATVs. There's 4 different locations where they operate out of. We had 4 offices along Ocean City, and that's where they pick up their two-way radios, they pick up their ATVs, they go out, and those 4 areas are supervised by our sergeants.
Good morning, I'm Sergeant Wagner. Been with the Beach Patrol for 22 seasons. Right now we're in the Middle South area, which goes about 20th Street up to around 50th Street. And this is one of the busier areas in Ocean City because of all the rip currents we get and the sandbars that are formed out here. Right behind us is 27th Street, that's my office. There's a substation there. We have 2 quads, we have the radios, and we have other equipment like paddle boards and buoys when we do workouts out here in Ocean City's beaches. My role as a sergeant in the Middle South area is to back up the guards that are on the beach, support the crew chiefs and their crews, get them radios, get them the equipment that they need every day. I'll also back them up on rescues. If they have a party pool where we have multiple victims in a rip current, I'll come and cover the rescue, and sometimes I would have to go in and perform a rescue with my buoy as well.
Competitions and competing is a very important part of lifeguarding here in Ocean City. We host the first competition of the Ocean Series that we partner with Sussex County, Delaware with. Each week, a different patrol in Delaware after us hosts a competition. All the events are life-saving focused. So they all have to do directly with what we do every day here on the beach. Paddling out to a victim, getting them fast, bringing them in with the paddle pickup, run, swim, run, relay, because every rescue is a swimming race pretty much to get out to them. Sprinting on the beach, you never know when you're gonna sprint to an emergency. It's great camaraderie between the patrols. I've met some great friends in other Delaware patrols, as well as getting really close with my coworkers here. I think it builds teamwork, and we get to also represent Ocean City across the country at nationals and mid-Atlantic regionals, as well as the opportunity to go internationally and compete as well. Represent that Ocean City isn't just about athletics, more so it's about life-saving and how good our life-saving skills are, and a bonus of that is being very competitive and athletic as well.
In Ocean City, surfing and swimming in the same beach is dangerous. You know, people get hurt. So we have an ordinance in Ocean City that we set aside a surfing beach. Actually 2 of them every day, Monday through Friday, and then a third one Monday through Friday, which is a permanent surfing beach at the south end of Ocean City. We call it the inlet. We don't want anybody swimming down there anyway. But the surfing beaches, they move 2 blocks south every day. So if it's in front of your condominium today and you can't go swimming there, tomorrow it's going to be gone 2 blocks south. And we employ people called surf beach facilitators, and their job is to be on that beach, to tell people they can't swim, and to make sure the surfers stay within their boundaried areas. That's part of the law here. We have at least, Monday through Friday, at least 6 people out on those surfing beaches.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I am a surf beach facilitator with the Ocean City Beach Patrol. Right now we're at the Inlet Surf Beach. Today we're going to be focusing on keeping the surfers and swimmers separate. So we have these 2 yellow stands and we set up 2 red and yellow flags. So the rules are that the surfers have to stay in between the stands and the swimmers have to stay outside of the flags. So because of the rough water conditions, high winds, and low beach population, surfing is modified today. So that means that surfers can go anywhere in the water. They don't have to stick to the surf beach today. They just have to give the swimmers the right of way. We EDU a lot of people, talk to a lot of people about ordinances, just really to keep people safe. The difference between an SBF and a normal lifeguard is that we stay in the sand and only in the shallow water, while lifeguards are going to go in for deep water rescues.
Communication, we use 3 methods of communication on the beach here. One is the whistle. Our whistle is one of our communication things. One whistle means I want your attention, and we tell people on the beach, and we write articles for the paper, and it's in there. In fact, it's coming out this week, that if you hear a whistle blast, look at the guard, because you don't know what they're getting ready to tell you. You know, somebody on the beach thinks, oh, it does not talking to me, but something could be ready to happen to them. It could be a dangerous thing getting ready, an umbrella blowing down the beach, and we're trying to warn them to move, or somebody in the ocean. There might be a big piece of floating driftwood coming to hit them. We want to tell them about it. 2 whistles is what the guard does, means they're getting ready to go do something. They're getting off their stand for an emergency. So if a guard's going in for rescue, they blow 2 whistle blasts, and then they go for the rescue. That's a signal to the guards on both sides. Also, they're going in for a rescue, which starts what we call a cover system. And 3 whistle blasts means I need help. And so if a person gets called over to somebody, some lady says, hey, you know, my husband, something's wrong. They go over there and find out the husband doesn't have a pulse, needs to do CPR. The guard can just blow 3 whistles and then everything starts coming. So the whistle is one way of communications. The second way, we have our 2-way radios, specialized digital radios, so we can talk to each other directly, nobody else can hear it, or we can talk where everybody can hear it. And we can talk to police, we can talk to EMS, we can talk to the helicopters, the boats, we can talk to anybody we need to with these radios. But the third method of communication is what we call Semaphore. And Semaphore is the use of flags and arm positions. And every arm position is a letter of the alphabet, so we spell out words. But also every letter is also a whole word. Like the letter A could be the whole word age, because we do a lot of lost and found kid messages. We see about 1,000 lost and found people every year here. And so, you know, we don't want to spell out how old they are. We just said A, but in context of the message, it means age. B means boy, G means girl, F means found. So the letters mean whole words, and the guards learn that.
Semaphore, it's crazy. You have to basically learn a version of sign language just to communicate it. It's very hard, but it's very rewarding when you learn how to do it, because when you are in distress situations, when your stands down from you need you, and you're able to read what they're saying, it's very important. And when you can get that down, it's awesome. It's awesome. I've been going at it for a month, and I've improved a lot, and I've been able to get down reading and sending messages basically at a basic level. But if you see that at the speed that some lifeguards can send, it's insane.
If you want to work for the Ocean City Beach Patrol, everybody follows the same path. So the first thing is our recruiting. Once they've applied for it online, I'll start a correspondence with them, email back and forth to them, verifying some information, and we invite them to one of our pre-employment physical skills evaluation. I start with an orientation, and every orientation is exactly the same. I make sure everybody hears the same thing. Consistency is important. We developed an English proficiency test. They go to 4 different people with a question, and we just get a chance to have a conversation to see if their language is enough, because we just need to make sure that it's quality enough that we can understand them, they can understand us, and we can have a good job. Any lifeguard on the beach, before you make a rescue, before you swim, you have to run. You have to get there. So we start with a run. On the beach, it's 300 meters in 65 seconds or less. If they do it on a track, it's a full 400 meters, a regulation track, 75 seconds. Following the run, we do the swim. It's a 500-meter swim, and it's 10 minutes or less. In a pool, it's a 600-meter swim, 10 minutes or less. So we increase the distance since there's no waves. Then following that, we show them how to use this rescue equipment, because the important thing is we don't require any certifications or any past training or any experience to work for us, because we've learned that people coming with a little card that says I'm a pool lifeguard doesn't teach them anything about what we do. So we put them through our own tests. So we teach them to use the rescue buoy. Then they try it a few times. Then we say, okay, what happens if you lost the buoy? Then we teach them the cross chest carry to bring somebody in. Then we teach them how to drag somebody out of the ocean. Then we do something where they're combining running and swimming. And then the last physical thing we do is we put them into water we call breaks and holds, where if somebody grabs you in the water, can you get out? That does 2 things. One, it sees how competent they are in the water, but also, are they going to panic? And if we've done all those things, they come to me for a final interview, and we talk about it and see if the job's for them, because we don't want to hire somebody that really is not for the job. So it's kind of a marriage, you know, do we want them and do they want us? And we're pretty successful. Almost everybody we select to go to Academy is successful. On the Academy, they come day 1, and there's a drug test. All our people are drug tested every year. We issue them all their equipment. They don't have to purchase anything. They get a training manual. They get all the things they need. And then that Monday morning, they appear here at 8 a.m. outside, lined up for a quick inspection, and then we start it. And during Academy, we will give them first aid certification by the American Red Cross. We certify them in Stop the Bleed. We certify them in CPR through the American Heart Association, use of AED. Now, all these are professional rescuer certifications. We've developed a technique for a person who has a neck back injury to how to get them out of the water while protecting their neck. We've won national awards for this, and people around the world even now are using this technique that we developed in Ocean City, because we see about 100 neck injuries a year here from people diving in shallow water or riding waves into the beach. We also have developed a technique to get a sandhole collapse. We've had people die in Ocean City, and multiple people die every year in the United States from sandhole collapse. They dig holes and it caves in. So we've developed a technique to get them out. Friday, we have an activity we call combined evolutions, where they're giving scenarios. Our current personnel are doing it, and they have to respond and do things. Sometimes it's a medical, sometimes it's a water emergency, sometimes it's a water emergency, it turns into medical, and that's that Friday. Then Saturday morning, they all requalify on a run and swim, because some of our people that are in Academy tested in a pool. I've never seen them swim in the ocean. Then they go out on the beach for Saturday and Sunday for what we call on-the-job training. So they're sent to a person on the beach, a crew chief or an assistant crew chief, to just on the beach talk about what's happening, sit on a stand with somebody. And then that Monday, they're put on their own stand. And that begins what we call 3 weeks of supervised probation. So the crew chief works with them every day for that week and gives them a written evaluation at the end of the week that says this is what you did well and these are things you need to work on. To get off probation, they have 4 things they have to do. They have to pass the Semaphore test. We test every Monday at our meeting. They're sent messages. They have to come up and tell the person that's instructing what the message is. They have to get so many messages out of the ones that are sent, then that's a pass. Another one is those evaluations. They have to get 3 satisfactory evaluations, which for almost everybody on the patrol, in 3 weeks they get 3. The next one is they have to have 21 days without any kind of an incident, which again is not a problem for most, but if a guard forgot their whistle, forgot their first aid kit, forgot their buoy, that's an incident, and that would restart that 21 days again. And the 4th part is we have what we call rookie graduation, which is one morning where both rookie academies come together. It's one of the most fun days for them. And we do all kinds of things with a different group that they haven't worked with before, and they get to experience some things we haven't trained them in. They get to go on a Coast Guard boat and jump off in the inlet. They just do a whole lot of things, and some of which paddle boards, landline, fins, things that they don't do in academy. One of the issues we have with the J1 students are the fact that they need to be able to test before we hire them. I've told the story before about these 2 guys that came from the Dominican Republic that were in Ocean City. They're lifeguards in the Dominican Republic. They were working for somebody else in the town. They came and took our test. We had to rescue them. We had to save them from drowning. They wouldn't be good lifeguards here. You know, they may have been good guards in the Dominican Republic, but that's not what we need. So taking somebody that says, well, I've been a lifeguard in my country, or I won this medal, or I have this certificate, it just, there's too many variables there. That's why we do our own training. That's why we don't even accept certifications from our own country. So the Canadians, they'll drive down from Canada, take a test, drive home, and then wait till May to come to academy. But the other J1 students, they're not gonna fly across the big pond, the Atlantic, take a test and go back and wait for the job. So we're hoping that here in Ocean City, which has the most J1 students from anywhere in the United States, right here in Ocean City, Maryland, we want to get the message to them that if they want to work for us next summer, we don't require certification, we don't require experience, but if they're a good athlete, and there are a lot of great athletes in these J1 students, they can come take our test. We start August 1st. They take the test, they're hired for next summer. I'll give them all the paperwork they need to get their visa. Then they can just go home what they would have anyway and not come back till it's time to start work next year. We have nice housing for them. So they come here, we'll help them find housing. They get a $500 signing bonus as well as their pay, which is $21 an hour this summer. They don't have to buy uniforms. We give them everything they need. It's just all they have to do is get here.
When we came here and looked at this place, my wife's comment was, well, that would hold a lot of lifeguards. At that time, in 2022 and 2023, we needed more lifeguards. We were short. And one of the problems was there just wasn't enough available housing. I started lifeguarding in 1996 when I was in college, and I was a full-time lifeguard during the summers while I was in college for 4 years, and then lifeguarded another 2 years part-time after that. And then took a 20-year break. We moved here in summer of 2024, and this is our 3rd year that we've had lifeguards living with us. What you see behind me, there are 4 apartments. Each apartment has 2 bedrooms and holds 4 lifeguards. So we actually have 16 lifeguards living here. One of the cool things about this property, especially when rookies come, this house is 2 doors away from the Ocean City Beach Patrol headquarters. They'll just walk out the door and go next door and go to their training, and it makes things really easy. Also, we are a block and a half away from the beach. about 150 meters from the beach. We're right next to the boardwalk, which is kind of a popular, famous area in Ocean City. And for anybody who works in the South area, it's really easy to get to their location. There are people that live here that also work farther north. Ocean City is about 10 miles long or 16 kilometers long. So some of the people that work north need to take a bus or drive, or some of them ride a bike. But it's really good access to a lot of the things that people would want to do. It's been really cool. It's been a good experience. We wanted to provide a place that was nice and a place where people would be a good atmosphere. Today's Wednesday, and we like having dinner for all the lifeguards that live with us. So Wednesday is, we call it Talbot Family Dinners. And so my wife is actually making dinner right now, and everybody who wants to is going to join us for dinner. And it's just something that we love to do, to provide that family atmosphere and just eating together and joy.
Well, I'm just as proud to put this uniform on every day now than I was, But what makes me proud is not the things I've done, but the things I've seen everybody else do. Like when I've been on the beach and there's an emergency and the guards on the beach handle the emergency, and it's because, the training we've put them through. Even though I didn't do the training, I may have hired the person that did the training. I see myself as like the conductor of an orchestra. I stand up there and wave the baton. I don't play any of the parts, but I need to make sure that there's somebody ready to play every part when it's necessary, and that they play the part the way it's supposed to be played when it happens. And that's why we have the saying, do what you're supposed to do, when it's supposed to be done, the way it's supposed to be done, no excuses. And that's what that is. And that's what we instill in everybody. So I'm proud of this uniform because of the organization and some people like you that work for us, that are out there every day doing the job on the beach. So when somebody compliments the beach patrol, it's like the proud dad, it's like my own kids. When they do something great, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of this uniform because what it represents. And it's not just my 54 years, the 100-year history of the Beach Patrol, and people that worked for the Beach Patrol before I got on are proud of the Beach Patrol still because of what we continue to do. As captain of the Beach Patrol, my goal is to be the best beach patrol in the world with the best employees, the best lifeguards. And I think we're there. You've tried the rest, come to the best.